We're starting Be'ez Hashem Siman Kuf Ayin Beis in Vayol Moshe, and we're talking further about the thing that people in Eretz Yisrael, Poskim in Eretz Yisrael, are not fit to decide on the question of participation in the Medina because they're under the influence of the Melech, and if they don that it's Aser, they're basically donning the Melech. So Gam Hinei Mevur Gemara Bava Basra Daf Mem Gimel. There's a Gemara there, Sefer Torah She Nignav. If a Sefer Torah was stolen, Ein Danin B'Dayani Oisa Ha'ir Shekulam Noigin B'Davar. That all the Dayanim of that city are biased and they can't be judges in the case of the stolen Sefer Torah. V'chein ha'omer tenu mana la'aniyei Oisa Ha'ir. And the same thing, a person who's dying and he says, give a mana of my money to the poor people of a certain city. So Ein Danin B'Dayani Oisa Ha'ir. Let's say the kids don't want to give the money after the person dies, so they go to a din Torah, so they can't go in front of a bezdin from that city. The ein mevin rayim oiso here. You can't even bring Adam from that city to testify. Uparich, the Gemara asks, Aniye shakli dayanim ifsali, that why should the dayanim become puzzle just because the aniyim are getting? The dayanim are not aniyim. So the Gemara answers, Umasik da'afilu heichad dekitzlahu. So first the Gemara wants to answer that it depends whether there is a fixed amount that every resident of the city has to give to the poor, or there's no fixed amount. If there's a fixed amount, then they're not negei b'davar, because they could just give their fixed amount, and then it doesn't matter whether this money goes to the aniyim. If there's no fixed amount, that they just have to support the aniyim as much as the aniyim need, then it comes out that if they have to give this mana to the aniyim will have more money, the people of the city will have to give less tzedakah. So they're going to be biased in favor of having the tzedakah go to the aniyim. So they should have less tzedakah to give. Obviously the analogy is the schools in Eretz Yisrael that take money from the Medina, they have to support them less. Parents have to pay less tuition, people have to give less tzedakah to support the schools. So it's going to be negei b'davar. They want the money to come to those schools. But in any case, then the Gemara comes out that afilu heichad dekitzlahu, even when they do have a fixed amount that everyone gives a certain amount per year to the aniyim, they still want the aniyim to get this mana. Why? Because they want the aniyim to have more money. They want to have more time, according to the Rashbam over there, to pay up the money that they owe to the aniyim, or Stam, you can learn Pashup Pshat that it's Revach Habal Le'ir. Look what he says. Baharei de'af oisan she'ein lahem shum chelik. Even those who get no share of the money, mikomakum kivan denichelu berevach Habal Le'ir. Since they want more money to come into the economy of the city, it's mashma a little bit not like the Rashbam. He's learning Pshat that the aniyim have more money, that makes them a better economy. So Havi al yidei zeh noigin. They come out that they're negeya, they're biased. Upsulim ladrin, they're puzzled to be a dayan. They can't be dayanim. V'alkein pasku haTorah Shulchan Aruch Chosh Mishpat Seif Siman Zayin, that the Torah and Shulchan Aruch paskin the v'iskei hamas, that regarding tax that the city has to pay. In those days, the king used to go and say that the city has to give me such and such amount of money. You go and collect it yourself, and then they have to decide how to collect it. So if they have a disagreement how to collect it, Ein Danim B'Dayani Oisa Ha'ir, they can't use the Dayanim in that city. Because they or their relatives will have to pay the tax, and they're going to be under the influence in this psak. Ella B'Sheyesh Minig B'Ir Shadayani Ha'ir Yadunu Alamas. If there is a custom that they do paskin on taxes, Havi Kamisha Kibul Allah Karavoy Pastel Kamash Kasavatur. It's allowed because it's considered like the people accepted upon themselves someone who's puzzled to be a dayan, which works. If you accept the puzzle, then you have to listen to whatever he says. That's only by taxes. Not anywhere else. Therefore, when it comes to government matters and taking money from the Israeli government, and the parties, a lot of things depend on it. A lot of money, a lot of honor, shar tzrachim, bein la'anim, bein la'ashirim, people, rich people, poor people, tluyim bazeh, they're all totally in this participation. So ein safik shekol adarim tachas oisa memshala, all the people who live under the Israeli government, kulam noigim b'davar, they're all biased. Liyos daitam mimam memshala, and they all want to approve of the government in order to get the money. Now, consciously, he's not accusing them. He's just saying that they're under. It's a shaychad, like any other shaychad. Therefore, they can't paskin on this question. The Chassam Sofer really discusses a case like this, where a whole state, a whole country, a whole area was possible to be dayanim because of a bias. What's the case? There was a machlokes between the people of Yerushalayim and people of Tzfas back in the Chassam Sofer's time about who gets the tzedakah. There was tzedakah for Meir Baal Nes, money coming in, who gets it? For Kos of Sham, Chassam Sofer says she'ein shum bezdin be'eretz Yisrael. There's no court in the whole Eretz Yisrael who could paskin on this question.
Why?
Because they're all negay. They all get supported by the tzedakah money. So Al Kain says the Chassam Sofer. Therefore, Yafe Asu HaMefashrim be'Amsterdam. That stands for Amsterdam. The people in Amsterdam who wanted to make peace between them, Shemastru Adavar LeBezdin Shebi Aram Tsoiva. They gave the case over to the Bezdin in Aleppo, in Syria. Hasmucha, which is near Eretz Yisrael, ve'einam noigim b'davar klal, but they don't stand to benefit from this money. Yuri and Sham, that's what the Chassam Sofer says. Umikol shekain b'inyanim of shalos. So that's a one-time thing with tzedakah coming in. What to do with it? Fine. But over here, it's even worse because this is the government. Shaharbe to'alois chumrias tluyim ba. Many physical benefits come from this government. Ve'ein ladum was like you said before. The yeshivas, everyone's saying, the Zionists support all the yeshivas today, so it must be good. Well, it's true, they do support the yeshivas, so a lot of benefit comes from them.
And therefore bribery comes in.
They made the Sifai even complained, they said that a Kol younger man over there gets paid more from the government than an Israeli soldier.
But they don't. They don't get paid enough to pay rent.
No, I get paid.
And a soldier still in all. No, they're going to pay a soldier. They don't make enough to pay rent. They make a coil guy makes. How much?
Right, but it's more. I guess it's more.
No, a soldier. First, you got to say when a soldier, a soldier gets early retirement and gets a lifetime of benefits afterwards.
Yeah, but we're not talking about a soldier for a living. We're talking about somebody who comes to the army, like in the Israeli army. They get drafted and they come and then they leave. Yeah. Go back to work. Right. Anyway, so. Therefore, we can't paskin on this. So even Tim Salarma, the Aguda is going to do it. Fine, let them do it, but let them paskin.
Aguda of America, Aguda of Israel.
Right. That they're not negay so much in the thing. Really, it is true that no matter where you are in the world, you're going to have some bias. That all the people are pressuring the rabbis to come out in favor of Zionism. Alamanhigim, Rashi Yeshivas, the Rashi Yeshivas have to say things, or they can't speak too much. The Adayanim, and those who paskin on questions like this are under pressure. They're under pressure. Lamoid b'tzad hamedina, to stand on the side of the state. Umamash kulam noigim b'davar, and therefore they're all biased. Shakol tzrichim ezer v'toyeles minam. They all need the people's help. And if they just say something anti-Zionist, they lose a lot of support. V'da'aka, this is the problem of our times. She'iyaf shalohaitzi b'dareinu davar emes b'inyin zeh. That in our times you can't get a true unbiased psak about this. But it's a matter of more or less, right? In Chutz Torah, it's less biased. So Amnam Eretz Yisrael akroivim melachala. Eretz Yisrael, where they're close to the tragic events, the Hema Tachas Memshaltam, they're under the government, Memshalas Hamiflagas, they're under the parties, Bevadai Noigim B'Yoyser. Therefore, they're much more biased. Harachaman Hu Yisbarach Shmo Yatzilenu Mehem. So Hashem should save us from them, Umehamoinam, save us from those people who are paskening wrong based on bias, V'yadrichenu b'derech ha'emes, and may He guide us on the path of truth.